so section 12.1 is dealing with sets and how to express them algebraically. So if this is the set we're given, we need to ask ourselves, okay, well, how would I set this up? Assuming that n is always going to start at 1, that I would be able to find any term for any n, that I'd be able to find any term in this sequence. Okay? Well, the best way that I can advise to start is ask yourself, how can I get the first term? Okay, well, if I do that, in order to get a 2, and knowing that you have to have an n involved somewhere, and if n is going to equal 1, well, 1 plus n in the numerator here would give me 2. And as it turns out, I can use that n again in the denominator, because 4 plus 1 would give me 5. And if I look at this, as n increases to 1, 2, 3, it goes up in integers, in whole numbers. If I put 2 in for n, I would have 1 plus 2, which is 3 in the numerator, and 4 plus 2, which is 6 in the denominator. Now the reason this works is because each of these, the numerators and the denominators, are increasing in steps of 1. But what if I had something like and so on? Oops, Charlie, that should be 7. I'm going to confuse this over much. Well, our denominator would stay the same, but we'd have to change our numerator somehow. How would we do it? How can we get the 2 to then go to a 4 in the next step? Well, we'd no longer have this 1 plus n, because that won't work. If we leave the 1 plus n in there, we'd get the sequence of 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can't just leave it as a constant plus the n, because we have these skips here. But again, if you think of this n as equaling each one of these numbers in turn, in order to get the 2, we could ask ourselves, okay, what times n would give us 2? Well, that would be 2, right? Oops, I'm using the eraser still. So 2 times n. Okay, and if we plug in each one of these numbers in for n, we can see that as n increases, we've got 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, so on and so forth. So you simply have to look at the jumps between each one of the numbers to try to figure out the relationship between those numbers and n. Okay. All right, I have another example from this section. Let me illustrate.